صباح الخير يا ولاد عاملين ايه؟ ان شاء الله تكونوا بخير وصحة وسعادة اللهم اجعلكم في الأخلاق عايشين في الخير ونشوفكم على خير ان شاء الله. ولو حد عايز أي سؤال أو عايز حاجة للمصحف أنا عندي في الأوتوستراد بتاعت بدأ في الجامعة لحد من الساعة 9 لحد الساعة 3 ومن الساعة 9 لحد الساعة 2 بالليل يوم الأربعاء من الساعة 9 صباحا لحد الساعة 3 العصر. فأي حد لو عايز أي سؤال أو حاجة من الصفحة يا ريت يجي وأنا تحت أمره في أي وقت، أو مش قادر يجي أو خارج يبعتلي على الإيميل. أنا بنزل ماتيريال غير عادية كده، يبعتلي على الإيميل سؤال وأنا تحت أمره، أو أتواصل معاه بالتليفون أو تحت أمره. على عكس كده كمان المعيدة بتاعتكم اللي هي assign few aids رنا عملت جروب على الإنترنت، وأتمنى إن كنتم تتواصلوا معاها وتنضموا في الجروب، وهي ممكن تنقل لي لو حاجة في حد عايز حاجة مختلفة عن الفيس تو فيس انتراكشن أو الفيس تو فيس اكسبيرينس. تحت أمركم وضمن الله بإذن لكم التوفيق، وما تقلقوش الامتحان إن شاء الله بتاع الميد ترم أعتقد يوم يا 25 يا 28، بس غالبا يعني في الحدود ديت على آخر شهر نوفمبر. ذاكروا بس الحاجات اللي أنا منزلها وإن شاء الله يا خير وما تقلقوش، وإن شاء الله هرجع لكم في أي تفاصيل في هذا التوفيق. دلوقتي هنكمل بداية شابتر 1 بتاعنا زي ما احنا متعودين وهنخش في characteristics of services. Here in front of us we can see the acronym. The acronym are HIDI, which are stand for H heterogeneity, I intangibility, P searchability, I inseparability. This acronym will help you to understand or to remind, if you like, the four characteristics of service. The banking service, or monetary service, or if you like to title as financial service. They are all in all related to intangibility. Intangibility or heterogeneity or flexibility or inseparability. This is like insane services. For instance, if we look at heterogeneity, we can see this, you cannot combine together. They dislike to be with each other. Or you can experience one service in HSBC Bank, while you can experience another service in CIT Bank. Therefore, they are similar. They are not unified. They are different from bank to the other. Service marketing relies heavily on the individual selling the service. So because there are two ways of questions, you cannot imagine service come to you by its own or its own. No, it has to be someone who he or she provides the service to be utilized or to be operationalized to you to facilitate your task in the bank or in the financial institution. It is individual, of course, because it is other way of equation is individual who is judged as bank rather than the essential or the corporate service is being held. As such, it's related or it's lied or it's recall on the individual him herself who provides the service. Hinge market, therefore we can get like some lessons or some ideas or some brainstorming or some further concepts from here. Just marketing managers or people who are in the marketing department, who are the CEOs in the marketing arena in a company, they must pay attention to the product knowledge how much obtained, operationalized, stored, utilized. Those self-training is very essential for financial and monetary service because without training you cannot assign or allocate the suitable employee in his or her position to sell services. As such, self-training are very, very crucial and essential for the managers or marketing manager and interpersonal skills of the seller. The seller, the one or those who are representatives of the bank. So when you come into the bank or enter the bank, you can, I mean, for the, for the here like the other bank, you can find people who are interested in the phone desk, give you a large smile, saying hello, good morning or good afternoon, how can I help you? Today, if you come for a check or for some service that require face-to-face interaction with a teller, as such, they refer you to the teller. If you want to transfer money or withdraw or cash in money, they can refer you to the ATM, automatic teller machine, and some representative there who will be able to help you to do the interaction if this is the first time to come to the bank or your bank will utilize these services. As such, this is related to the heterogeneity or the H acronym of the HI. The second is intangible. Intangible is something that you cannot, is invisible, is untouchable. You cannot touch by your hand or comprehended by one of your senses, ear or eye or hand or smell or taste. No. Service must necessarily stress the benefit because service, as said, cannot be touched or in a way experienced by the sense of financial, like the financial advice. Like if someone of the bank or an employee give you an advice how to invest your money or how to mortgage your asset or how to promote your bonds or how to buy shares, this aid service or consultancy service cannot be touched or tested. It's logically. While service may have some tangible, of course, tangible presentations like you can check box if you get like some. I know. I mean, this is an option, or is like an old definition that check. While some companies or even big companies are still using the checkbook covers. It's used like the e-transaction or e-money, etc. The bank statements, if you want to get like some kind of bank statements to present it in an embassy or to get loan or to get some appliance with installments, they will ask you to provide bank statements from your bank or your bank credit details, or how much you have, how much you spend. Sometimes they ask to provide it during over 6 months period. Plastic card or plastic money, this represents only a small part of intangible service, not the majority of percent of the tangible service. The case of the financial service always involves high emotive discipline because people who are, give you like a smile, send to you like a message or such, they are not like in the face-to-face interaction with you all the time. Different service also represent level of risk. Oh yeah, because if you have like in terms of, for example, if you have like a current account, this will be considered low risk. Why low risk? Because you can get into the bank at any time in the day and ask to withdraw all your money. So there's no risk here. Why mortgage account may be considered a high risk? Because your assets there, your asset involved, your money involved. If you do like some kind of a cash collateral, you can put your assets in the bank, and then instead uh, you can get like a large sum of money to buy something else, because if your assets or money uh, being held in the bank is considered as high risk, but for the current account it is very low risk, because it's at any time of the day you can just ask for money, and your bank will give it to you in a check or in cash or in a way you prefer. Okay, perishable, it means something with decayed, something can be damaged or spoiled, like milk, cheese, or meat, chicken, or whatever, or something uh, need to be stored, perishable, or uh, some things you cannot just leave it for 24 hours. As such, we cannot store service for further sales. We cannot hold service. We cannot retain service. Service has to be done or has to be conducted at the same time at once as soon as you ask it for. This is why it is perishability. You can just procrastinate or put off your service for the next day or months after. Why if this service are fluctuate from day to day, week to week, or month to month, especially for branch interested area? Yes, but it is one of its characteristics is perishability. Perishability is something perishable, can be damaged or cannot be, has to be stored or being involved for further sales, but service are not unlikely. Again, this is inseparability. It is the other side or the other phase or the second phase of the equation, because if you put service between you and the bank clerk or the bank teller or the bank advisor as two phases of the equation, so one has to be rely on the other. This mass of the bank service cannot be separated from sales consultants. Sorry, for instance, investment advisor or corporate manager. Why this has to be according in process or authorized by the bank to be provided. This, as such, service has to be conducted and obtained as well as on time. While service is not like again like products which are must be produced. لكده بنقول إن services cannot be created at time and is going to use without any tangible products which must be produced before they can be sold by customers. Now we have consumed or we have explained the four characteristics of a service. Now we transfer to planning in banks or planning in banking industry. We will start by highlighting or by explaining the essentiality or the importance of planning for banks. Banks cannot be proceeded by no planning or no sorry or no strategy. A bank without a formal planning process is like a ship without a destination. There is like a code or an idiom saying that if you don't know where you go, all the way will end you where you're at. This quotation in front of us is same or similar that a bank fails to plan is planning to fail. If you have no plan, the failure is your destination. Any commercial organization doesn't plan or doesn't allocate a strategy or a way of dealing with future and respond to the changes as soon as soon as problem or difficulties arise. They will face failing or face like some kind of bankruptcy or being out of the rate or being out of the track, etc. Thus, leaving itself in the threat to other competitors or other um counterparts in the industrial area where they operate. Itself become like vulnerable or become like really weak to its competitors, but one bank with a concrete or a solid plan, of course, will dominate the place in the market. This is why planning is essential. Um, is how to control or how to predict or how to be prepared to face difficulties and the problems arise in the future is how to control or come as the past of the questions of the planning itself. Thus, the value of planning is lies on how it controls its own future. This essentially should be consultant to touch with the fast changing environment because every day you change both the rate, the interest rates, or the price change or the bond change. It is really in turbulence. The banking industry is really in turbulence. As such, every bank has to be prepared or assign a distinctive strategy or a plan for its future so as to dominate the market. Again, a plan provides like the road or the roadmap for continuity or incessantly proceed in the market without any difficult from one year to another. Uh, as illustrated, in the slide in front of us, here are the benefits of planning. First, we can relate to the first component or the first item is the focusing of the executive to uh, set up or list uh, the guidance or the elements of their bank operation or daily operation so as to be the first step in the strategy or the planning of the bank. This guidance or these benefits will guide them to operate the daily tasks as appropriate as other banks or as it's assigned or as it's designed. Again, planning redefine or highlight or identify the source of each activity. These activities are these resources are maybe like human resources. Now we are in the era or in the period of the coronavirus where human resources or physical resources, if you like, both are scarce or are scarce because in terms of physical resources, the government all over the world have declared that the workforce of the bank has to be 50%. But here in the Middle East or in the Arab or in the Gulf area, they prioritize male over female. For instance, if you have like 10 males or 5 females, your bank would be operated with 7 males and 2 females, which also involves constraints on the bank. As such, if you have like a multi-skills or multi-skilled employees or well-trained employees, the bank manager or bank executive will orchestrate these resources so as to serve in multi-functions in the bank and achieve tasks appropriately. Good planning as well makes bank aware of its or acquainted with its responsibilities and rules against its staff and employees. Again, every organization or either banks or a financial institution has to conduct SWOT analysis, which are strengths. SWOT is for strengths, W for weakness, O for opportunities, and threat for and T for threats. This is very beneficial so as to illustrate or to map out where the bank stands and where its position from its competitors, counterparts, service supplier, clients, etc. Again, the plan will enable the bank to identify customer needs and wants. For instance, if you are uh, operating in the compound area or industrial area, you will need not like e-services, for instance, like money transfer or checks, or no, you will need to have like the majority of your assets are cash so as to pay for your employees in the compound banks or in the industrial area. You will have like a big save component so as to involve or the cash inflow coming from your supplier or your industrial providers. The bottom line of any planning process is to monitor or to audit or to scrutinize the development in the business environment and try to be under control according to a set up plan. Strategic planning, as it's illustrated or as it's shown in the slides in front of us, which starts with the marketing plan, human resource plan, financial plan, and risk management plan. These are the four components or the four soft skills that are constitute like a strategy plan in the bank or any area. But here we're talking about the marketing plan and financial and human resource, and the rest, these all in all constitute the strategic plan. Let us look at the strategic marketing plans and see how it's constitute like a very constitutional component for the competition, which banks don't force or to focus their attention in the strategic plan. The essentiality or the importance of the strategic plan as a tool in overall strategic plan have been emerged recently during because or due to the turbulence or the attacks happening to the financial sectors over the world. Again, we can see that in spite of being that some in spite of this new development, we can find on the business arena some banks are vanished or being dragged out of the banking industry because they were stick or they were clinging to their parochial mind or old-minded business concept in terms of conducting the bank transaction rather than deploying or employing modern management skills with the bank. These banks or this kind of banks are are vanished from the area because if you change, you will sustain and you will develop and you will progress. Alternatively, if you stick to the old ways and you always feel, your destination would be to be tracked out of the or the whole industry and being out of the track and vanished, and your uh, income or your performance will be fragile. This is to highlight the the strategic and marketing plan to the bank. Here we will standard the content of the strategic plan. Here is above to the slide. Here we can see the measure statement and which leads to the key objectives, leads to the assessment of opportunities, environment, market assumption, all in all improve in the competitive strengths, evaluation, and market portfolio strategy. All this as in a reciprocal relationship or like leading to the strategic change action to the action plans for implementation is the last change action plans for implementation. Is how you come of all of these to end up with the implementation of your plan. Let's in this lecture standing here to the content of strategic plan in order not to be so overwhelming the volume of our lecture today. Wish you always good luck and be in touch if any problem arise in terms of comprehending this lecture or its content. Thank you for your time and attention. Good luck.